Becky, I think we're live last.
Fantastic, we are. Brilliant, okay. Hang on a sec. Okay, good morning, everybody. Hello, and thank you for joining us on this live stream of our daily writing prompt with the wonderful Toria Garbutt, who is here today, not in person, sadly, but over Zoom, and she's going to be doing a writing prompt for us today. My name's Becky, for those of you who don't know me, and this is our first event in the September Writers Bloc, so thank you so much for joining us. Just to introduce to you Toria properly, for those of you that don't know, Toria is a fantastic poet and spoken word performer, and since bursting onto the scene in 2014, Toria has been a regular tour support for Dr. John Cooper Clarke, most recently on his Luckiest Guy live tour, on which Toria performed her first European date. And in 2016, Toria released their debut album Hot Plastic Moon via spoken word label Nymphs and Thugs. And in 2018, Toria's first poetry collection, The Universe and Me, was published by Wrecking Ball Press. Toria's also had performances that have been featured in the Edinburgh Fringe Festival and recently in The Guardian as well for her feature on the rise and rise of the new poets. So without further ado, here is Toria Garbutt, a fantastic punk poet who's going to be our writer in residence for September. Welcome, Toria.
Thanks, Becky. I feel really undeserving of that title, punk poet. I feel like the least punk person in existence. Basically, like, I spend my evenings watching Married at First Sight UK with a hot water bottle, but I'll take it. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Just as we went live, the wheelie bin people pulled up outside, so if there's a little bit of like crashing and smashing, that's what it is. So I've got a couple of little prompts this morning, but first of all, I thought it would be really nice to start with some questions for you, just to get your brains warmed up. So grab a pen and some paper. I'm going to ask you some questions, and if you don't have anything to say, that's okay. If you don't really understand the question or you don't feel like answering it, that's okay. You can skip questions. It's just to get you writing and just to get you warmed up a little bit. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to ask you is, how are you feeling right now in this moment? Just take a nice deep breath and just check in with yourself and write down for me, on this bright autumn morning, how are you feeling? Could just be a one-word answer. It could be a sentence. Okay, and I'm just going to keep firing questions at you. The next thing I'm going to ask you is, who do you believe in? Who do you believe in? The answer could just be like, my children, my husband, myself, just dead quick answers. The first thing that comes to your mind. And the next question I'm going to ask is, who do you trust? Who do you trust? Okay. How do you talk to yourself? What does that voice sound like? What's that internal dialogue like that goes off in your head? How do you talk to yourself? Are you talking to yourself kindly? Are you encouraging yourself? Are you being hard on yourself? How do you talk to yourself? Okay, next question is, where have you been? Could be literally, like, I've just popped out to Lidl for a loaf of bread, or it could be, you know, on a deeper level, where have you been? Just keep scribbling away. Don't worry if you miss a question. Just keep going with it. Where are you going? Okay, complete this for me. Complete this sentence for me. Time is. Okay. And then the next one is love is. Love is. And then the next one, complete this next sentence for me. I wish that. I wish that. Just keep scribbling away. The next one, I've realised that. I've realised that. ... I've realised that all I want to do every evening is watch Married at First Sight UK with a hot water bottle, and that is making me so happy right now. All right, the moon is. The moon is ... The sun is. Okay, a couple more. We are all. We are all ... Let's end with a happy memory of summer. Just a few words. Happy memory of summer. And you can put your pens down, do a nice deep breath, be dead proud of yourselves because you've got something on paper. So for this next bit, we're going to take inspiration from the morning pages, and we're going to do some stream of consciousness writing together. So for anyone who's not done it before, what that means basically is just keep your pen moving on your paper. Don't think too much about it. If you feel like you're doing it wrong, just write down, I feel like I'm doing it wrong. The important thing is that you just keep writing, and that there's no way that you can possibly get it wrong. You're just transferring whatever's going on in your head straight onto the paper. So I'm going to give you a line from Joelle Taylor's amazing new book, Kunto, which she's given me permission to do so. It's an incredible book. Please get it. It's amazing. And there's loads of stream of consciousness writing in here, and some just really amazing lines. You know, those kind of lines that you read and all the stand up on your arms. So with Joelle's permission, I'm going to give you a few lines from this book, and you can choose which line you'd like to use as a starting point for your stream of consciousness. So I'll read a few lines to you, and if there's one that you really like, if you can write it down, and then when I say go, I just want you to write freely, using that line as inspiration. So these are the lines. These are a few lines that I really love just in this first little bit of the book. So the first line is, men are broken things, breaking things. Write that down if you like that one. Men are broken things, breaking things. Okay, and then another line that I really like, men explode when you least expect it. Men explode when you least expect it. If those lines are not appealing to you, let me give you a couple more. Wow, listen to this one. Women are crucified on hashtags across the dark hills. Women are crucified on hashtags across the dark hills. Women are crucified on hashtags across the dark hills. Okay, and I'll give you one more that you might like to use. Let's see. Ah, there's so many. All these lifetimes searching for body. All these lifetimes searching for body. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is choose one of those lines as a starting point. Kate Clancy talks a lot about this. She talks about you taking bits from other people's poetry and using it as a structure from which to build your own poem. And I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And the other really good thing about doing this kind of thing is that there'll be words in here that like might not ordinarily be immediately in your vocabulary or mine. You know, I think we sort of tend to use a particular set of words in our little word banks in our head. So I think doing something like this can be really useful because it might take you down a route that, you know, perhaps you wouldn't ordinarily go down. Okay, so I'd like us to start this stream of consciousness exercise. And what I'm going to do as you're writing, I'm going to pick some of the random words from the book and throw them in. Just because that might encourage your thoughts to take a different path from the one that you were already on. If you don't want to go down a different path and you're quite happy just scribbling away, then you just crack on with that. But I'm just going to keep throwing extra words in as well. Okay, so let's begin our stream of consciousness writing exercise with the sentence that you've chosen now. Disappear. Disappear. I have to check how many S's and how many P's. I got it wrong anyway. Yeah. Fishbowl. Fishbowl. Valentine. Valentine. Okay, let's have a couple more. Sisters. Sisters. Brothers. Let's see if you can end it with the word bones. Bones. Okay. And then you can put your pens down and do a nice deep breath. Feel really proud of yourselves. Okay. So I'm going to give you 4 words now from that book. And what I'd like you to do with these 4 words is just write me a very condensed 4 lines. So somebody clever said that once said that poetry is about saying big things in a small way. So for this next exercise, we're kind of doing the opposite of what we've just done. We're going to try and really condense. And I'd like us to use these 4 words for this next exercise, again from that same book. And the words are gods, boots, girls, and wings. Gods, boots, girls, and wings. And I'm going to give you a few minutes to work on this. So 4 lines using those 4 words, or as few lines as you can get away with, nice and condensed. And I'm going to join in with you. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for today's exercise. If any of you are going to be joining us in the other sessions, maybe you could bring some of these with you. Tidy them up, polish them up. Maybe you could bring them to the one-to-ones that I'm going to be doing. Maybe I can share with you what I've just written in this session, or you can just keep it privately to yourself. Thanks for this morning. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see some of you later on this evening.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Toria. Oh, that was fantastic. I always feel like anytime I do a workshop with you, my brain is just opened up to a new level. And like it's just so lovely to have all of your ideas and stuff come out. I wonder if you wouldn't mind sharing back what if you did write something this morning from your prompts, would that be okay?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so probably same as what everybody else has done. Like this is what mine looks like. So it's just only really like
Mine's like that as well. It's all a bit scribbled and mad.
yeah, just like scraps of ideas really. So so I went with the line "men are broken things breaking things." I really liked that, and there's so many lines like that in that book.
Joelle Taylor's amazing, isn't she? Like,
oh my god, yeah, Becky, a new book, so good.
honestly,
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I'm just saying, I absolutely like devoured it. I loved it. But yeah, so I was really excited that you used it as a prompt. But off you go, Toria, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, okay. Men are broken things breaking things. We grow wings and sing like birds. We wish they could fix them. We disappear into the silence. We crumble like sandcastles. Our life's a fishbowl with me floating on the surface, eyes bulging, mouth gaping, gasping for air. Valentine is the only time he says I love you, once a year for Instagram. This is not about PJ, by the way. Once a year. Sisters pull us closer, brothers stand in arms. We are, after all, only flesh and bones. And then with the few words that I chose there, gods, boots, girls, and wings, I was just like playing with this idea that girls are kind of like hidden angels or hidden gods, kind of like this idea. So I went with girls in Doc Marten boots, girls squeezed into Doc Marten boots, grow wings from shoulder blades. Oh, and then I changed it. Hide wings under cardigans. We are all gods. So just ideas. Obviously, like these exercises are not about coming up with complete poems, but I just think it's a nice way of getting started. And I think even, you know, choosing words at random from somebody else's book is just a dead nice way of expanding your own ideas, because I know for sure if I'd have sat down this morning to write, my head wouldn't have gone in that direction.
Yeah, completely.
Quite sort of we can tend to regurgitate the same words, I think, don't we? So
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love like looking at how it's so interesting how different people use the prompts as well. And like so like your words and your prompts are like completely different to mine. And like I'm sure people watching will be like, oh yeah, I didn't think about it in that way. And yes, it's always so useful to just get you started, because otherwise that motivation is you struggle to come by it, don't you, sometimes? So
yeah, and I think it feels so nice to do it early on a morning, you know. It's kind of like I'm very lazy with writing, and if I can push myself to write anything, and it can just even just be one sentence, or even if I just open up my laptop and just look at a poem or edit a poem or something, I just feel better about myself at rest of the day, you know, just that I've done something. It's like feeding that little bit of yourself that's really important and that we often neglect, isn't it?
yeah, completely. Well, on that note, thank you so much, Toria, for a lovely start to the morning. I definitely feel very refreshed and creative now. So thank you for that. Thank you everybody for joining us as well through our live stream. Just that, you know, we do have, obviously, we have quite a few events coming up this month with Toria as our writer in residence. One of which is tonight. We've got an In Conversation with Toria, where we'll be talking more about her work and what's to come on the writer's block this month. We've also got some Bloc socials, workshops, an enterprise hub, And of course, at the end of Toria's residency, we've got a block party. So if you are interested in performing anything that you may have written that's been inspired by the daily prompts, or that you write along the workshops as you're coming and joining in, please do get in touch. Email us on info@writingonthewall.org.uk, and we'd love to hear from you and hear your work. Thank you so much again, Toria.
Thanks, Becky. Thanks
you.
everybody watching.